The greatest challenge for farmers right now is environmental change.
What inspired you to build with shipping containers specifically?
I am a big kid at heart. We are just adults playing with Legos. We look at shipping containers as Legos. You can stack them on top of each other, place them side by side, and build anything you can think of.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to another episode with Advisor AI Solutions. Super excited to have Jessica Lewis with the Mobu Enterprises and Shipping Living with us today. Jessica, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, Shipping Living, Mobu Enterprises, from my understanding, it's a green construction company specializing in repurposing shipping containers into eco-friendly residential and commercial structures. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. In addition to that, we also do agricultural structures and we do adaptive reuse. So we can go into an old building and rejuvenate it.
Oh my gosh! Can you tell me a little bit about that? I have friends that do the agriculture shipping containers. My mom actually she just started a wedding venue last year. We're using a shipping container for one of the bars. Yeah, can you go dive a little bit into that?
Sure. From an agricultural perspective, the greatest challenge for farmers right now is environmental change. So, as you all know, we get a lot more rain than usual, a lot more sun, a lot more snow, a lot more wind. And unfortunately, for that reason, in the past, I would say 3 to 5 years, most farmers have lost a lot of crop. And so, what we've created and we specialize in is vertical container farms. So, you can acquire one or more containers, either 20 feet or larger, and we will provide you a turnkey system, fully automated, for you to be able to grow anything you could think of. Only thing we have not tried yet was watermelon, but anything that is grown on a vine that can grow, hydroponically. That's our specialty using, we call it water based farming, without dirt or soilless farming. We can build and grow for you.
That's amazing. So I know you're out of Atlanta. As far as agriculture shipping, are you able to adapt that to any climate?
Yes, so the units itself are climate controlled. So based on the crop type is how the environment is built for you. So if you're building, growing leafy greens or flowers or whatever you can think of, even down to marijuana for marijuana growers, you're able to use that environment to grow beautiful organic products.
Oh, that's amazing. I think that's something we're definitely going to be needing, especially with a lot of these, urban areas that have these smaller green spaces, to fully maximize it and make things efficient for some of these living spaces. I think that's absolutely fantastic, Jessica.
Thank you. Thank you. I think our farmers have to pivot a little bit. They're losing a lot of their crop, and this here gives them full control on how their end product is being cultivated. So I think they'll appreciate it.
Awesome. So Jessica, you mind sharing a little bit about your background?
Sure. I started off being a master's degree student, learning about project and construction management. I did not like the way that my family, who I come from a family of developers, were doing traditional construction. I just felt like it was wasteful. And so until I went to school and learned about sustainability, even though I was the only person in my family recycling, I don't think I really understand the depth of sustainability and what it's like to be, I guess, sustainable, not just in product, but the way you use sustainability practices and all the depth that goes into it. And so once I learned about that, I left school and I learned from container build companies. I wanted to be in green construction now that I learned about it and had my opportunity to run projects on the West Coast that focused on shipping containers. And then I thought I could do it better, so I started my own company 8 years ago.
Oh my
And
gosh.
now we're still around.
Well, congratulations. That's that's absolutely pivotal. And I actually kind of resonate with that as well because my parents they're also farmers. My stepfather he's a one man show and watching him break his back year after year, season after season is like is this really the most efficient way to be growing food and using the land that you have available. So it's great that in the front of it, leading, technologically and always being curious to find better ways.
I agree. Thank you for that.
Okay, so tell us, what inspired you to build with shipping containers specifically?
Well, I am a big kid at heart. So we are just adults playing with Legos. So if you ever played with a Lego at any time in your life, you enjoy the thrill of being able to create some of the most dynamic things. And now we get to have that opportunity as adults. We look at shipping containers as Legos. You can stack them on top of each other, place them side by side, and build anything you can think of. And of course, our company's motto is the sky is not the limit. So you can think of something, we'll try and build it for you.
That's totally right. I was just on your Instagram page and I was looking at some of those renderings and some like the sports arenas and things like that. I was like in my head like, do these actually exist? But when you say Lego, it's like wow, that's actually what that is. And then super interesting. Are there structures like that out there?
Yeah, especially at sports stadium. They have one in Qatar. I would love to be able to duplicate something like that here in the United States. Mostly anything that we've ever showcased on our page, either we've done it or it's being done in a space, and people need to know that that type of variety is out there. So typically, when they see containers, they think tiny homes, and we can build
Right.
a tiny home in about 8 hours, but that's not really our bread and butter. We build much larger structures, and so I'm just excited that people are interested in it and knowing that things like this actually exist. They can really start becoming visionaries about their designs.
Oh my gosh. So you said you were able to build a tiny home in 8 hours now.
Yes, we tested it on our own dime, not on the customer's dime. We did it on our own dime.
That's incredible. So, as far as the shipping containers go, where do you guys typically source them from?
From the ports. So we have relationships at our local ports. Typically, I think customers think we buy them from someplace else and ship them in, but we don't. We try to find what location is closest to the customer and we direct support from there.
Okay, so are these brand new shipping containers or are they reused?
It's a customer preference. So if they want us to use, if they're okay with using that, saves them, I would say not quite a bit, but it saves them some money. But if they want brand new, they have that option as well.
Oh, that's terrific. Okay, so as far as the industry goes in green construction, modular construction, from your perspective, Jessica, what kind of major shifts are you guys seeing right now?
I think I'm seeing more innovation in our space. I appreciate seeing that though, because when you think modular, people oftentimes are thinking mobile homes. And the fact that folks are moving more into our space with the use of other types of material besides, the traditional prefabricated mobile home model, just being able to see more companies thinking outside of the box allows for lots of innovation to sneak in, but more importantly, on the, I would say, state and county and maybe even the federal level, they're becoming more lenient in allowing us to do different types of bills. So before, their building code was so restricted that certain things was or was not allowed, but now we have the opportunity in certain areas throughout the United States to be able to get innovative and it be accepted now. Before it was like hard nose, and you got, no, we're not doing it, we don't like the way it looked, things like that. So now they're becoming more open, and I think the challenge is just the fact that housing availability and affordability is getting worse, and so beggars can't be choosy.
Right, right, right. Well, if you're able to cost effectively build, a livable home in 8 hours. I think that's a start of a resolution to the housing problem across the world. Would you say?
Absolutely. And for us, going from site build to plant build is what will allow for it to be affordable worldwide. So I'll give an example of that same tiny home. We would sell it for about 60, 70K, but that's expensive in a lot of parts of the world. And so you
Hmm.
say to yourself, how can you reduce the cost to the end user? And for us, it would be us opening up more manufacturing facilities worldwide where we can hire locally and be able to source locally. So by being able to do that, it would allow for it to be more affordable for a person that lives in that neighborhood.
Right, right. That's definitely a beautiful goal to be worldwide, wouldn't
Yes, that is our goal.
it? So, as you mentioned, that there is now a little bit they've loosened up some of the restrictions. So with that, the higher demand and sustainability. How is that kind of affecting your guys' strategy as a company?
As a company, because we are 8 years in, if you do a Google search, typically we're some of the first ones to pop up, I would say in the top three. So having been out this long, as far as putting out the content and our website and the keywords, from a marketing perspective, it puts us at the top of the list, which is important just because our method of building is high quality, the time to build is shorter, and then in general the end product is phenomenal. So them being exposed to us helps them kind of go into the green direction. Otherwise, they're stuck with traditional builds where people are still allergic to carpet. Silica is still killing them. Formaldehyde in mobile homes is causing cancer. It's just so many things. And so I think it would be really important for people who are going to inhabit our buildings, even if it's not my building, being inside of a building, just allowing yourself those options really makes a difference.
Certainly, for being able to provide such a wonderful alternative, just unreal, and that's great for you guys. You had mentioned that you were looking to expand warehouses, around the world. You guys, I just saw that you guys recently started a warehouse in the United States. Is that correct?
Yes, we'll be opening up in Texas very soon.
Oh, in
And
Texas.
so I hope to invite everyone out to physically see it, how we build. That the 8 hour build that we did for the tiny home was just a trial run. Where we'll be doing more time studies to see how long it will take us to do any size building. So one container is about 320 square feet. We want to see how long it's going to take us to build 2,000 square feet versus, and larger. And so
Right.
those time studies are going to be important because, again, when we're talking about how soon can we get something to your property that you just paid for, we want to be able to reduce that time frame. So for us, that's going to be really important, and just being able to have that opportunity due to use of manufacturing, lean manufacturing specifically, that's going to be
Right.
amazing and a great thing for our company.
Oh, I love that. So obviously, when you're talking about the 8 hour tiny home, you're not talking about full customizability. But when you get to that size of a warehouse, are you able to access more customizability? Would you say for your clients and customers?
Yes. So when you're when you're doing a manufacturing facility, I'm not sure if we'll continue to maintain customizations. Um, ma- Mainly because the governing bodies want cookie cutter designs. They want to know that you're
Right.
building the same thing over and over, and from a safety perspective, structure perspective, they want to make sure that they can monitor how we're doing those build outs. And so I'm not sure if we'll be able to do a lot of customizations like we've done in the past. Um, and for that reason, too, is why it's going to be important for us to come up with really strong floor plans and make that available to the customer, because that's what we'll have to present to the governing bodies. So to answer your question, in short, no. But the best that we can do is from like a floor plan model, let's just say if their base is, 2,000 square feet, maybe we can get a little fancy on the inside with the floor plans. But for the most part, we would have to make
Right.
cookie cutter models.
Just keep it high quality from the get go.
Yeah. It'll still be high quality. It's just, let's just say you want a
Right.
certain type of finish or a certain type of window. We won't be able to say, well, you have custom windows. We can't do that anymore. So that's the downside, not being able to have fun with creative designs. But at the same time, the quality will still be there. It's just, it can't get but so fancy or so customized. So the end user may not like that,
Certainly.
but maybe we can get creative some other way.
Absolutely. Well, if you're trying to solve a global issue, sometimes you can't be picky either, right? So that I love that.
I agree.
In your opinion, Jessica, what do you think is working best for you guys as a company right now? What are you guys really proud of?
I'm really proud of our consistency. So being around for 8 years, that's a long time. Especially we made it through COVID. We're all still, above ground, and just being able to pump out the same quality product, the same high level customer service, the same high level intention, and what our end goal is, which is to just bring sustainability to the masses. I'm most proud of that, and that's allowing us to remain in our true selves and why we started the company. We started the company because we wanted everyone to have equitable access to green materials, green visionaries, and green buildings. And we're able to do that. Even our legacy as we're growing our companies out, we'll continue to do it the same way. And so I would say just being a sustainable, consistent company is very important, but also that's what made us great.
Awesome. I'd love to hear that. That's terrific. On the flip side of things, you'd mentioned different things with restrictions and codes and governing bodies. What would you say you guys' biggest hurdle or bottleneck as far as a growing company goes right now would be?
I would say our great. So you mean like a challenge? Our greatest challenge?
Yeah.
I would still say is marketing. For us, what we're finding is people like the idea when they see things on YouTube or social media about the use of containers, but until they're the actual customer, they don't understand all of what goes into it. And I would just say, even 8 years in my company and 10 years in the business, people are still trying to understand sustainability and what it means to use containers in projects. So I wish there was a way that we can come up with like a container database or knowledge base or something where if people want to know about containers outside of the International Building Code, they can come to that place and just learn and understand what all goes into a container build. I think if that gap was to be able to be filled, then that would bring more people into the green space. So let me be more common that we don't just build with containers. We use any kind of green material. So if it's hemp
Right.
blocks, if it's, styrofoam concrete, like we have accessibility to all these things. And so we want to be able to bring those opportunities to the public. And so without us being able to bring that to the public in an easy way, and that would just be having a central database, I would say for a while that's going to be a challenge for anyone in our space because there's not a lot of information out there, and I'm not really sure how to even gather enough information so that it is in a central location to be able to distribute to the public. So we just do it through opportunities like this, becoming, guests on podcasts and,
Right. Right.
whatever we can offer in the form of social media marketing, which we're about to revamp in our company. That's the best we can do for now. But in between time, that is at the top of my head. How can we bring this accessibility to more people where it's fun, it's sexy, it's interesting, it's intriguing enough for people to want to do it, not just
Right.
get entertained by it on social media. It
Well, for the record, I think it's sexy, so that's
is.
awesome.
Yes, I agree. I concur. Thank you.
Awesome, Jessica. So, as a company, if say you're able to solve these issues as far as having a centralized area where people can, learn about shipping container, more sustainable products, building materials, things like that. Where do you want Mobu to be in the next, say, 6 to 12 months?
6 to 12 months, we are rolling out our all our programs. So we have a Container Life Masterclass where people can join our classes and learn how to become green real estate developers. We are launching our manufacturing plant, and we may have the opportunity for people to come visit the plant, do site visits to see how we're doing our build outs. We have started our groundbreaking in our Texas project so that people can eventually come see how we're doing our larger build, which is a 1,060 unit mixed use apartment complex. And we're
Wow.
launching projects, in North Las Vegas, Philadelphia, and Chicago. We have a lot of other projects that we're doing simultaneously, even here in the Atlanta area with some of our students that will showcase not only just containers, but our team is phenomenal. Like I'm telling you, I have like think about Fantastic Four, think about Marvel Comics, think about all the best of the best heroes of the world. I have all that on my team. And so to be able to showcase how we are working together is going to be great. Whole group of black and browns, and we just coming together just really to showcase the ability of green construction. I think that's going to be great for the marketplace.
That's absolutely inspiring. I'd love to hear that, Jessica. Congratulations to you guys and your team. So, just before we wrap up here, I just wanted to ask a couple of questions I ask all of our guests. First is if you weren't repurposing shipping containers for the better of the world, essentially, what do you think Jessica Lewis would be doing instead?
I probably still will be teaching something. So my past life was around helping founders grow their companies. So anything from idea to conception, I will help business owners with. So I probably would still be in that space. And I kind of am now. That's why we got the real estate development classes, so I can cultivate people from that perspective.
That's amazing. Sounds like you're wearing many hats right now and you're doing a lot of good on your end. Um, but Jessica, is there anything else you would like to share with our listeners that we haven't covered today?
No, but you all can follow us on social media at Shipping Living on Instagram. Um, you can follow us on our Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube at Mobu Enterprises. And if you ever have any questions or just want to learn a little bit more about our company, you can shoot me an email at lewisjm at shippingliving.com.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Jessica, for your absolute wonderful insights today. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll definitely be in touch.
Thank you. You as well.